What is going on, guys? So we are back with another video. Rick here, and today I bring you a very nice match. Last round of Hotel Meliceiro. I'm playing with white pieces, so yay! 5 rounds, and I got 3 white pieces versus 2 black pieces, which is nice. You know, I prefer playing with the white pieces. As probably everyone. But yeah, let's see. So this match will probably, like, the thing with this match is that if I win, I probably get like place, third or second place. If I draw, I don't get anything, and if I lose, I don't get anything. So pretty much, I knew that I wanted to play for the win. And let's see. So um, start the match with d4 again. So we went for d4 again. Uh, I don't know if I'm becoming a d4 player, but no, I'm just playing around with d4, just just testing the waters. I will not leave the e4. Okay, I've done too much work in openings in e4 to just leave it like that. But yeah, let's see. So my opponent went d5. I went c4, e6, and knight f3. So the Catalan, or like a Catalan setup, and yeah, that's what I've been playing. So c5 here, and c5, like, I got it with this move in in the other game when I played d4. Let me just give me a second, guys. So yeah, and I knew that this was bad just because I mean, it's playable, but I don't like it. I don't think it's the critical variation or anything like that. It's like it's not that good because I take on d5, it takes back, and here, I mean, I just developed. He developed g3, trying to get the Catalan setup more or less. Developed the bishop to e7, and here I take just to make him move the bishop again. I castle. He plays h6 actually, to stop bishop g5, and here I mean, here I didn't really like the fact that he could just probably play d4. Although, yeah, I mean, um, I played knight a4, which I saw there was an idea just to harass the bishop once again. But the thing is that, as you guys see, like, after bishop e7, and I went b3, which is not good at all. Here, I should have gone knight d4 by the engine, or even like bishop b3. Yeah, bishop b3 is, I've seen this move around because, like, for example, I feel like bishop e3, like knight g4, and then I can go probably like bishop c5 here, try to trade. Uh, but I didn't really see this during the game. Also, now that I'm thinking, but yeah, this doesn't really work. Knight d2, maybe knight e1, but knight e1 he still gets d4 in, or he castles. Yeah, it's weird. I feel like knight a4 is good. Like, the engine says a3, but the thing with a3 is I thought d4 would be good, but now knight a4 is very good because the same line. Yeah, the same line is different here because I get in b4, and I can put the knight here at some point when he attacks me. And yeah, I gain some space here, some critical space, and this pawn is just overextended. But I didn't see this. Unfortunately, I played 94 directly, which is not a bad move. It's not a bad move. 97, I went b3. This b3 is not the greatest move. That, whatever. But I saw some idea with this 94 in these type of lines, b3, when I was like preparing, studying, because I knew they was gonna play c5. But yeah, castles, bishop b2, 94. So with knight d2, he went bishop f5, and here I had a decision. I didn't really know if I wanted to come back with the knight to c3, but the problem with coming back with the knight to c3 is that he gets bishop f6, I thought, and here is just, I just lost all my initiative, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to play knight a4 to then go back to c3 and just lose a lot of tempo. So after some thought, I ended up playing, I mean, the best move, but it was a bit painful because I felt like I screwed up the opening already, and I did. Um, because, like, the problem with this position is that I needed to play around the IQP, and the way you played against the isolated queen pawn, it's basically you need to blockade it with your pieces and then put enough pressure to gain the pawn, you know. But I didn't do that. I just decided to play creative. You guys know the drill, and I mean, it's sad. But here I thought that I was better after some calculations because I calculated this, and here I was like, okay, like, let's go. He can't really defend the pawn. What is he gonna do to defend the pawn? Like, I'll get rook d1, I'll get rook c1, I'll get very active. I can even play knight c4 maybe. But here he thought for like 25 to 30 minutes. He thought for a long time, like 25 or 30 minutes. And I was like, what is he thinking of? I was expecting maybe f5 to protect the pawn, which if f5, I think I would probably just go queen c4 check. And after something like rook h7, I thought I would probably just put the rooks on the open files and just have a nice open position with some activity for me. Um, but it surprised me a lot with e3. And I was like, E3? What? I was like, really? And I was like, should I take the pawn? Should I not take the pawn? But like, I just saw that maybe I thought like maybe f4, but then f4 he just gets queen d2 in, and it's I have to trade, and then this. I mean, he has so much time to protect his pawn now, and it's not good. It's not good at all, right? And so I just decided, okay, let's just take the pawn, right? It's just a pawn. And this is equal. Unfortunately, it's completely equal. Even if I'm up a pawn, it's just not the best set of pawns here. And yeah, I was kind of sad. I was kind of pissed off because I thought that I had a really good position out of the opening. But I just messed up that idea with knight a4, and then b3 was incorrect, and I just messed up like that. It's what it takes, you know. One move, it's all it takes to mess up a position. So he went bishop g5 attacking my pawn. I went to rook f3, which is a bad move apparently. Better would be queen c3. But I mean, queen c3 directly. Yeah, I guess, but I thought rook f3 would just be fine. But he didn't punish it. He went queen e7. Apparently, the punish here would be rook c8. But okay, whatever. Engines, right? Queen e7, and here, I mean, here I was like, very sad because I was like, okay, I'm up a pawn, but I mean, how can I hold on to this pawn for a long time? Like, he's just gonna put so much pressure into my pawn, you know, and I just, I was just like, I was pissed because I was like, damn, I thought I really had a good position out of the open, and I already messed it up. I'm up a pawn, and it's not even a real pawn up because I'm gonna lose it eventually. He's gonna put a lot of pressure. I thought like maybe queen c3, maybe bishop c1, but then I didn't really have time to develop this rook because he just puts a lot of pressure, and if he wins this pawn, then this pawn is gonna fall probably as well, and my position is bad, and I don't want to defend. I don't want to be just defending. It's gonna put a lot of pressure, and so I decided to go for a move that I was like, okay, let's play a crazy game, shall we? I went queen c3 here, and of course I was expecting bishop f6, and now there's some ideas here, you know. The main idea was to sack the rook, sack the exchange, for the bishop, you know, and play down an exchange, but for 2 pawns, you know, rook for a bishop and 2 pawns, and that's what we ended up getting. But I was also thinking knight. I was also thinking queen c4 here, but the problem is that I saw that he just has bishop takes b2, knight takes b2, and then he had knight e5. So I didn't play this, thankfully, and I just was like YOLO. I was just like, let's go, let's have some fun. Here I was expecting queen takes, but he took with the g pawn, which was a bit weird. I was like, can I play rook f1? The engine says that I should play rook f1, but that is the best move. But for some reason, I didn't like rook f1, because after knight e5, I didn't really like this position. I didn't really know how I could infiltrate this position. But yeah, the engine says simple line like rook d4, rook a d8, queen f4, but I even thought like this would work, but apparently not, because yeah, I can start maneuvering stuff like that, but I didn't see all of this, you know, like, what about this? Yeah, oh, yeah, bishop a3, yeah, for sure, I didn't see any of this. So yeah, let's forget about that. I just took, he played here, I played king f2, and this, I saw everything and I was fine with this position. I thought, okay, like, it's probably around equal, like, because I have 2 pawns, even though they are double, if he takes, I was like, if he takes, I mean, these pawns can now connect, and it's not that bad. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But he played b6, which I thought, okay, that's weird. I played rook c1 here, rook d8, and here I was like, okay, he's attacking the pawn. Can't really defend rook c4 because he eats me with b5. I was like, should I go rook d1? But here I didn't like rook d1 because just rook e d6 and it's bad. So I thought for a while now, like, of course, knight b2, I also thought it wouldn't work. And yeah, I was like, damn, I need to move my bishop, probably. I didn't really like this because of rook b2, but apparently this is nothing, because I can just go e4. Okay, forget it. E4, really? Damn, whatever. But I went bishop c3 with the idea of stopping bishop rook d2 mainly. He went knight e7, which surprised me, and here I went back to d4. Here I also thought, okay, he wants to go to f5, so I should probably do something like g4. But the thing with g4 is that I thought that after like something like rook c8 that this would be very bad, and it is, because my rook, like my bishop, is pinned. So I just decided to go back and allow knight f5, and here just play rook c7 and hope that this works. But yeah, I was already spending a lot of time because I realized that I made a bad assessment of the position, because yeah, it's definitely worse, because I will not be able to keep my pawns, and I'll be doing bad. But yeah, he took on a7. He played rook d2, which is kind of annoying for me. Played knight c3, and after rook c2, I was like, damn, bro. Should have calculated better. Should have gone for other line. Like, this is not good for me. I'm screwed. Now I'm gonna be playing only for a draw if I can. And then I thought, okay, rook c7, maybe I can try to trap his rook here. But he just found a tactic that I didn't really see. But I mean, even rook c7 is the best move. I just have to allow that. So I was like, okay, whatever. So he takes. I have to take, and yeah, he gets an discovered attack. I played knight d4. Thankfully, I had knight d4 to stop rook c2. He played rook c3. I played king e2, king h7, king d2, and here he was like, he was holding the rook, and he put it on c5, and then he let go of his end, and then he grabbed it again and put it on c7. I feel like that's not you shouldn't do that, right? That's not allowed. I could have called the arbiter probably, but I didn't call the arbiter because, and this is funny, I didn't call the arbiter because I thought that actually the move that he took back, the rook c5, was better than the rook c7. So I just allowed him to do that because I thought that was worse, the rook c7. Whatever. I didn't really punish. This position is very complicated. I just played rook b5, and he gets in c5, so we get pretty much almost in the same position, but not quite. He starts bringing in the king. I play knight a4, rook c6, king d3, king f5, and here I was like h3, e5, king e5. But I thought here I would be holding because I thought he doesn't have a way to infiltrate my position. Everything is good. If he leaves the rook of the sixth rank, he loses this pawn, and then I get two passers. I can always maintain opposition here, and his king can't approach, so everything is fine, I thought. The rook e3, he goes rook g6, which I was like, that's kind of annoying. He's making me push my pawns, because if I go king f5, here, he just enters my position, and that's not good. So I went g4 here. He went back to c6, and now it's almost like I mean like Zugzwang. It's almost like I'm in Zugzwang, because I mean, he just went to g6, made me push a pawn, and then went back, so we repeat the position. But now it's my turn, and if I go king d3, he just enters the position king f4, and I lose. And if I don't know, if I just push a pawn, like, I don't know, a3, he can play b5, and my knight is trapped. So, I was like, no way, bro. And if I play like maybe h4 here, I thought that after something like rook c2 doesn't work, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I didn't even consider h4, to be honest. But yeah, I was like, damn, what should I do? And after a lot of thought, I just played knight b2 with the idea that happened in the game. Rook c3, king d2, he takes my pawn. I give a check to the king, and I take this pawn. I was like, okay, this is bad position, just down an exchange, and he's so active compared to me. My king is cut off. Like, I was like, I screwed this up. Ugh. I was like, very like, ugh, this is so bad. Like, but I was like, okay, I have to fight. I can't give up. Maybe I can snatch a draw. I have to keep fighting. And here I was like, I was down on time, but I just tanked to like probably 3 to 4 minutes here. I spent so much time because I was like, okay, one of these moves has to be correct and the other one has to be garbage. I was looking at d7, knight d7, with the idea to go knight f5 or maybe knight f6 here, but I was calculating all these king moves that he could that he could do to approach my position, but yeah, after a while I just decided that knight c4 was better, and after rook g2, knight d6, and I was still kind of afraid of him maybe just getting closer with the king or something like that. But he just took, which I saw, and I took the pawn. Yeah, no, but no, the sorry. In my calculations, I didn't see that after knight d6 I was attacking the pawn, so he can't really push the king because I attack the pawn and get two pawns, and that's a draw. So he has to take the pawn. Yeah. And here I didn't know if I should go knight takes f7 or if I should go check and take this pawn. But I thought that my knight here would be so bad, and I could easily get it trapped, so sorry. I thought, yeah, I have to take this pawn and just hope that I can stop this h pawn. So I just played rook g6, and here, I mean, I was just like, bruh, this is so bad. I can't approach with my king because he gives me a check, wins the knight. I mean, I need to get here. I need to get here somehow. Like, I need to stop this pawn, you know? And I still have this pawn, but I mean, I have to use it as a distraction or something like that. And here, I mean, I probably, from this point on, I play this whole game with 2 minutes, 1 minute here. I was playing on increments pretty much. I was playing with 2 minutes, 1 minute. I was just, you know, I was just desperate here, and I was like, let's see, let's try to trick him somehow or hold this position. And the engine says that it's mate in 14. The engine says it's mate in 14, and the best move is knight h6. Okay, forget it. Of course, I didn't play that. I kept fighting. I played b4 with the idea of just throwing this pawn up the board just to make a distraction, so maybe he lets me enter the position somehow, you know. Of course, his king can't approach. I saw, oh, yeah, play this so I can play knight e5, but of course he doesn't do that. He's an 1800 player. I think maybe in bullet or blitz he would do that, but even then it's quite unlikely. So he started pushing the pawn, and I was like, hold up, bro, calm down. I played b5 with the idea of going b6 and b7 and b8. Very nice idea, right? But I needed to distract him somehow, you know, to maybe make him let me enter the position. And so he played king c5, and here I went king d2 with the idea of just bringing the knight back. He went king takes b5, which I was happy to see because now I get knight e5, and I thought, okay, I have some chances now. You went check, I went king e3, and here I saw that if he does this, I can just come here, and if he pushes, I can even easily go back and stuff like that. So I was like, fine. So I went king e3, he went king f6, rook f6, and here I was happy. I was happy with my position, and I thought that I was making progress, you know? I'm getting closer to the pawn with my pieces. His king is very offside, which was my idea with this push, just to get a piece of him offside, you know? And here, you know, I said before that was made in 4. Now it's only -5. So -5, we're making improvements. We went from mate in 14 for black to -5, okay. So here I played knight f3. I wanted to somehow do this, and after he played king c5, here I went down to like 30 seconds or 20 seconds. I really was deep in calculation, honestly, because I thought that I thought that after king f2 maybe h4 here would be good, and after g2 maybe h3 so I can take, and I was like calculating all of this, but then again I can just play like this and I'm fine. Also, I was thinking maybe this and this check, and I was like, okay, I can't really go here because then I get hit with a check and I lose. maybe here. And I was like, maybe rook g4. I was like, okay. But I was calculating all of this to see if king f2 worked or if other move was better. I was like down to 20 seconds probably. And I played king f2. And yeah, here I was playing 50 seconds, 1 minute, the whole game, like even lower. Rook g6, knight h4, rook g4, knight g2. He brings the king closer with king d4. Here I went king f3. He went king e5, and here here is already like minus 30. So I don't know how, but we screwed up. But it's not over till it's over. Never resign and keep fighting if there's like chances to trick your opponent. I went 93, you went rook check, and I was happy to see this because I thought, okay, finally I'm getting to the h file. Let's go. You went king e4, which, I mean, the engine is just going crazy. This is complicated. The engine is Stockfish is just going crazy. But I went knight g2. This knight is so annoying. Just keep attacking his pieces. Keep putting pressure. He went rook g4 check. I went king h3. And I was like, bruh, let's just survive this. Oh my god. I was playing like with 20 seconds always. 15 seconds. I was like, oh my god. You went king g3. I went knight h4, which I found that it was very nice. Just an unusual move. You went king e3. I went check. You went king f2. And I was like, oh my god, what is happening? I was like, what is happening? And I went knight h6, rook g1, and I was like, okay, straining mate. But this is a mistake. This is the mistake. After rook g1, it's a draw. After rook g1, it is a draw. I think he was playing fast because I was really low on time. And after rook g1, it's a draw, guys. I managed to come back from minus 1814 or minus 30 in like to draw. It's minus 0.5, which is a draw. And I was so low on time, but yeah, I mean, here the easiest way to win for the engine is just king f3, apparently. Yeah, after like, I don't know. Oh yeah, because if I take, he's just winning actually. Yeah, this is a winning endgame. Wow, but of course he didn't see this. I just played knight h4. Okay, rook g1. Let's keep going. Check, pushes the pawn. I check his king, and here I'm already like, here I'm already losing after knight g4 here, because he just has king g3 and I'm losing. And yeah, I mean, I was so down on the clock that I just had to make moves, right? Here, a lot of moves, 2 moves draw, which is knight f5. And after h3, just go g4, you know. No, actually, this doesn't... Yo, this is not a draw anymore. Okay, the engine is, like, this is too complicated for the engine, apparently. Even for Stockfish, so I'm not gonna look at the engine that much. So I went knight g4, he went king g3, I went 93, he started pushing, I give a check. Again, I entered with my king with the position, and here he played h2, and here I was like, oh my god, this has to be a blunder, bro. The pawn is too far up the board, and the rook is in front of the pawn. I went 93, king f3, I went knight g4, king g2, I went 93 again. I gained some time here. I went knight g4 again. He went king f3, and he thought for a while here in like this position. He went king f3. I went king h3, and I was like, oh my god, I'm out. I'm out. I'm gonna win the pawn. I'm drawing. I was like, let's go. And this is complete draw. But I still was low on time, but probably I had like a minute or something because I gained some time in the last moves. But he went to rook d1. I took the pawn. He went king f4. I went king h4. He went rook h1. I went king h3. He went rook g1. And here, here I started thinking for a long time because I was like, bruh, what is happening? I went king h4. Like, I made a mistake of thinking like more than 10 seconds on positions that I only have one move actually. Uh, rook g2, king h3, rook g3 check. And here I thought for a while. I thought like for 10 seconds or something like that. And there's only one move, literally. It went rook g5. And here I thought for a long while as well. I was like so scared of this position. I made the difficult part and I was like thinking for a while. I think to like probably like 10 seconds or something like that, and I played knight f2, and then he played rook g7, and I had like 30 seconds on the clock here or something like that, or 40, and I was just thinking like, okay, I was so tired. By the way, guys, this match was 4 hours and a half. 4 hours and a half. All that I show you guys was 4 hours and a half. Like, it was around that time. He was also here. He was already down on with like probably like 4 minutes. 4 minutes he had on the clock here, and like 20 moves ago he probably had 20 minutes. So he thought for a while, and we were past 4 hours at this point, 4 hours and something, and I was just so tired and exhausted. And here I had like 30-40 seconds. I was like, okay, king h5 or king h3, what should I do, king h5 or king h3? And I was like, okay, but maybe I can go knight d2. And I thought like, for some reason I thought that this would be check. I don't know, I hallucinated and I thought that this would be here. I thought this would be here or something like that, or yeah, it was very weird. I thought that this move would be a check or something like this, and I was thinking for like 20 something seconds. I almost felt like I fell asleep a little bit thinking of knight d2. I was just thinking that after knight d2 he can't really come in because I check and I get out or something like that. I was thinking something like that, and he can't approach. So I was like, I thought that for some reason I could play knight d2, and I thought for so long, and out of nowhere I looked to the side. I have 1 second, and I just boom, I just blitz king h5. I had like 1 second. I just blitz king h5, and I was like, I was with. You get 30 seconds of increment every time you make a move. I was like with 31. Like, I almost lost on time here, and after this I'm just losing again with rook g7. King h4, rook g2, and yeah, I can just resign in here. He just made me one. So yeah, and yeah, I think I allowed all of this, but yeah, whatever. And yep, the simple king h3 would be drawn here. I don't know. I thought king h3 for some time. Like probably like 5 seconds or something at the start of my time coming down, and I just didn't like this. I was like, what the hell is going on? But here I can like just check. Yeah, I can even just check here, and like whatever he does, I can get out. I can get out of this position alive. But yeah, I just lost like that, which was very unfortunate. And yeah, that's the story of this game. I lost after 4 hours and a half fighting for a draw here, and yeah, it was very sad. It was very sad because yeah, I was completely drawn, but I was so exhausted. I had such low on time. I was panicking. I thought that I could do this, and I just forgot that he was threatening mate. Yeah, I literally forgot that he was threatening mate, and I just thought that if I get my knight out, I can just draw. And when I realized that this would lead to mate, I looked at the clock and I had 1 second, so I just instantly did like look like this because I was gonna lose on time, and yeah, I didn't end up. I don't know. I just thought that I didn't even realize that he could just move the rook here and just trap my knight, or yeah, or something like that. And yeah, I was just thought that this. I thought that this would be each move would like work, but it didn't. And yeah, it's just, I mean, the only way I can justify this is I was real low on time. I was exhausted. I was nervous. I was like panicking, and yeah, I mean, but I was like this for like the last 20 to 25 moves because I was down on the clock, and but I managed to put up a fight. You know, he also was completely winning, so it's not like I really deserved a draw. Honestly, maybe I did because he also didn't see the win, and he blundered. But I don't know. It's a very weird game. It was nice that I went for the exchange sacrifice. Was my first time doing like an exchange sacrifice like that. But yeah, I mean, what a game, guys! What a game! This is definitely probably one of my longest videos because also one of my is my longest game for sure. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Damn, this was a really crazy game. And if you are still watching after these 36 minutes, thank you so much for watching the video to the end. And yeah, what a crazy one. Also, this was my last game of March, so I will be having a elo change, a elo update at the end of the month or at the start of the next one of April. And like I calculated, no, a friend of mine calculated for me with like a FIDE rating calculator or something like that, my rating changed after these games, and I played like 5 games against people with elo. I won 2 and I lost 3, and even after that I'm expected to gain like 30 something points, 30 something points, and I will be crossing 1500 somehow, even losing more than I won. But the reason why is that I always played against higher rated opponents, you know. I played against the 1700, I played against another 1700, I played against the 1600, I played against the 1500, and I played against a 1800. I won against the 1700 and the 1600. I lost against the 1500, and I lost against the 1700, and also lost against this 1800. So, but I still will gain 30 points, which is, I don't, like, let's see. I don't know if the calculators are exact, like the calculators that my friend used are completely like 100% accurate, but let's see. I wasn't expecting to win rating for sure. I was expecting to lose rating because, you know, you lose more than you win, it makes sense to lose rating. But then again, I'm always playing against really high rated opponents, or I'm playing against non-rated opponents which don't count for the points. But yeah, guys, I'm not gonna waste more of your time. Take care. My next match will be this Saturday on the 2nd of April. So let's see how that goes. Very important match for the third division. This was the last match of the Molisseiro. I ended up the tournament on 7th place out of like 25 people, so not bad. And I ended up 3 out of 5, so it's positive. But yeah, I was expecting a little bit more, but next time I'll try to come through better prepared and a better player. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.